This is the World Financial Report on Radio with Harold Siegel. My name is Randy Marshall. Joining us via the telephone, our financial endowment expert, Harold Siegel. We're taping our show on October the 6th, 2017. Our time is 8:41 Mountain. And we say, Happy Canadian Thanksgiving long weekend. Hope you get a chance to get together with family and friends, have a nice meal. And in the United States, for our American friends, it's Columbus Day. A radio show runs on 6:30 CHED in Edmonton, Sunday afternoon at 3. If you ever miss a radio show, they're archived 24/7, streaming for you at rarecoloreddiamonds.com, and there you can connect with our podcast, rarecoloreddiamonds.com. Speak with Harold at 1-800-432-1022. Our featured diamond of the week is a .44 carat oval cut, fancy, vivid, purplish pink argyle. We'll talk about that in the second half of the show. And since we last spoke with you when we were taping the show last Friday, so much has changed in the world. It's just been absolutely stunning. As we taped the show, U.S. job numbers came out in the United States. Due to the hurricanes, they were down negative 33,000 jobs. First decline in 7 years. In Canada, we were up 10,000 jobs. In fact, we gained 112,000 new jobs, lost 102,000 part-time jobs. And in the United States, the employment rate is 4.2%. Now, obviously, here in Edmonton, we had that attack. It was about 8:15 on Saturday night. The Edmonton Eskimos were playing at Commonwealth Stadium, and outside the stadium, there was an attack. And obviously, it shook Edmonton and Canada to its core. And then we turn around, and hours later, in Las Vegas on Sunday, there was a concert, a country concert, featuring Jake Owen, Jason Aldean, and there was a madman with a gun and shot and killed so many people, injured so many others. So between Edmonton and Las Vegas, it was obviously a time for heavy hearts here in Alberta, Canada, the United States, around the world. One other thing we wanted to mention, Tropical Storm Nate is making its way to New Orleans. They're currently worried about their pumping system, and it should make landfall late Sunday, and they're worried that their pumping system to pump water may not work. But Harold, I sent you the story on Sunday morning, and you acknowledged it. The attack in Edmonton, obviously the attack, what a cowardly attack by a sick individual in Las Vegas. And yes, the world was mourning because it was a very sad time.
It certainly is. It's almost like every week we're sending our condolences. It's just been an unbelievable last few months. I mean, it started with Hurricane Harvey in Houston that did $150 billion worth of damage. And again, I just don't see how they're going to recover financially from that. As we've mentioned before, the fact is that most people didn't have insurance as far as flood insurance. The insurance company's not going to cover the 40,000 homes that were lost, and people still owe on their mortgages and still owe on the loans on their cars. So a horrible, horrible situation. Then obviously you had Irma that wreaked havoc on the islands and wiped out Puerto Rico and wiped out Bermuda and all the islands. I mean, it's just a horrible thing. Then obviously what happened in Florida, we're still cleaning up from there. I had heard that we had just one tree down, but we still haven't been able to get our house back because this tree happened to be 40 feet high and fell into the lake and pulled up all the ground, and it's just an absolute mess. You come back to such a beautiful state like Florida that's so pristine and gorgeous, and it just looks like it's a war zone because down by the beach, for example, and at Trump's place, which is Mar-a-Lago, which is the old Marjorie Post mansion, the fact is that beautiful, gorgeous building has actually been sandblasted. The wind was blowing so hard that it changed the color of the building, and it changed the color of the beautiful white buildings on Worth Avenue. So, we're still cleaning up from that. It's been a tremendous mess. And then the situation in Canada, and then the situation in Las Vegas. It just makes absolutely no sense at this point what is going on. The situation in Las Vegas is possibly one of the worst things I've ever seen. So you're right, Randy. Things are really, really difficult at this point. As far as the markets are going, gold's actually fallen off. Don't forget, it was only about 3 weeks ago that gold had broken 1,300 and was actually trading at 1,325 on its way to a very important number of 1,380. Gold would have to break 1,380 and close twice above there in order for this market to turn into a bullish market. At this point, the market's down to 1,264. It's down about $3 on the day. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that even though there's a lot of talk and rhetoric between the U.S. and North Korea, nothing is really happening. And the most important thing that's affecting the price of gold right now is the fact that the U.S. dollar has strengthened, and that's a negative for gold. As the U.S. dollar gets stronger, gold tends to fall. So it wasn't that long ago that the Canadian dollar came all the way back to 121 from a low of 136. So the low that we saw in the last while in the Canadian dollar was 136, and it made a strong rally and came all the way to the 121 level. That means that it literally made a 15-cent increase in the Canadian dollar over that period of time against the U.S. dollar. Well, now the market's coming back, and the U.S. dollar is trading right now at 94 cents, just above there, up 23 points on the day. And the Canadian dollar is falling back down to the 126 level. So it's given up about a third of its strong move. Again, a lot of the move in the Canadian dollar came based on the fact that the Canadian government raised interest rates twice, which, again, I'm still shaking my head over. It's not going to do anything to help the economy. In fact, it's going to hurt the economy. Canadians at this point, like Americans, have the highest level of debt that they've ever had. And so what does the Canadian government do? They go ahead and raise interest rates, so it costs Canadians more to carry that loan. On top of that, we know that the real estate market is in disarray, so they raise interest rates, which makes buying real estate even more expensive because mortgage rates are going up. So a lot of things just don't make sense right now. The whole world doesn't make sense. The craziness, what in the world would cause a man who's a multimillionaire, never been in trouble of any type, no background on, what makes him wake up one day and do what he did in Las Vegas and kill 60 people and injure over 500? It makes no sense. I just believe at this particular point that the pressures of the world and what's happening financially for most people are so strong and so difficult to deal with that it causes people to do things that they wouldn't normally do. Again, what's happening at this point makes absolutely no sense. Stock market in the United States is running. Reason that it's running is that things are so bad in other countries that money is coming into the U.S. because the Dow is the only real game in town. Now, don't think that it's a safe place to put your money, because it isn't. The fact is that the Dow is hitting the level that it has just based on 5 or 6 stocks. It's not that the economy in the United States is great. In fact, the economy in the States is not good at all. You've got major retailers that are closing. The commercial real estate market is plummeting because, they're closing 300, 400, 500 stores at a time. Amazon seems to be getting all the business. That's why their stock is so high. There's just things happening in the financial world that just don't make any sense right now. And along with the fact, there's not a lot of excitement in the market. Gold has been trading in a range. We did get excited, when gold broke 1,300 and went to 13 and a quarter and looked like it was going to make a strong move. But now it's back down to 1264. So, we've seen basically a $65 drop in the price of gold, a $60 drop in the price of gold, and most of that is coming because of the strength of the U.S. dollar. even though the U.S. dollar was falling and the Canadian dollar, as an example, was rallying, I still feel very, very strong that the U.S. dollar will be the stronger currency. And on any type of dips, I've been buying the U.S. dollar. I think that the U.S. dollar has got to eventually break back over par, and that's going to be phenomenal for our investments. Most of my clients are sitting in U.S. dollar-based investments, which, again, I believe are going to do tremendously well, not only based on the investment, but based on the fact that the U.S. dollar is going to be a strong currency again. So, again, Randy, right now the markets tend to be trading in a range, have not broken out. There's no commodity market at this point that has really grabbed my attention to where I'd come out and say, buy this commodity right now, it's going to run. That's not the case. We've got to sit back and wait for opportunities. You cannot make opportunities in the markets. You've got to wait for the market to basically come to you. When I say that gold has got to break $1,380 twice, if that did happen, if we got gold above $1,380, we had 2 consecutive closes in a row, I would be buying heavily into the gold market. But because that isn't happening, we're sitting back and waiting for an opportunity. Same thing in silver. Silver's trading right now at $16.52. It was trading almost as high as $18, but it's backed off again with the strength of the U.S. dollar. So we're certainly not going to make a recommendation to you just for the sake of making that recommendation. If it's not going to work out, we're not going to recommend that market to you. And right now, I do not see anything in the commodity, stock, or any of these markets that I would recommend to my clients. We need to see a breakout or something happen that's going to break these markets out. And what I do believe is going to happen is that the U.S. dollar is going to continue to strengthen, which is going to push down the price of gold, which will give us a better opportunity to buy probably at around the 1150 to 1180 level. I'd be a heavy buyer of gold at that particular time.
This morning, U.S. dollar right around 94, and Canadian dollar 79.5, 79.49. Not too long ago, the Canadian dollar was around 83 and a half, 84. So it has definitely come down. And one thing to mention, just as a little side note, many years ago, Harold recommended palladium at $180. And today, if you can believe it, palladium has gone by platinum. And I don't know if you have an updated quote there, Harold, on platinum and palladium. But I know earlier in the week when I was looking, I think palladium was around $950 and platinum was around $916. So it's interesting to note that palladium is ahead of platinum. Do you have something there, or?
Yes, I do. Platinum is at $943, and palladium is at $943, and platinum is at $915. So this is the first time that I've ever seen palladium higher than platinum. Don't forget, back in 1980, when gold hit $850, platinum hit $1,100. And because platinum and palladium are basically used in similar fashion in the catalytic converter industry, platinum was so much more expensive than palladium that palladium started taking over for platinum because it did the same job as in the catalytic converter, but it was much cheaper. Palladium was trading one time at $180. It has traded as high as $1,100. So we're still very, very close to the all-time highs in palladium. Platinum is used in jewelry, catalytic converters, that type of thing, but I'm just shocked that palladium is actually surpassed platinum and should break $1,000 again very soon.
Well, for those that followed Harold's recommendation, you have done very, very well. Connect with Harold at rarecoloreddiamonds.com. Harold has private programs in place where you can start making money today. Find out more, 1-800-432-1022. 1-800-432-1022. rarecoloreddiamonds.com is the website. And our featured diamond of the week, and it is from the Argyle mine in Australia, a .44 carat oval cut, fancy, vivid, purplish pink Argyle. Second half of the show, we'll talk about diamonds in Sotheby's magnificent jewels and jadeite auction that happened earlier in the week in Hong Kong, China. Now, one of the stories that we felt was very important, and we've been covering for quite some time, and that is the housing market in Toronto and Vancouver. Last week, we had that report from UBS saying that yes, Toronto and Vancouver were in the top five for overvalued markets, housing markets, in fact, bubbles. They called them bubbles. Well, Toronto, housing prices fell for the fourth straight month, and that is saying that sales are very sluggish, particularly in the detached home segment that bore the brunt of the correction in Canada's biggest city. Now, Vancouver, their September home sales fell 7.3% from the previous month. So you can see those stories and more in our free weekly newsletter. Connect with Harold. We'll be happy to send out the newsletter to you via email, free of charge. We know you're busy and you don't have a lot of time in your personal life to be doing a lot of extra reading, but take the time. You work so hard for your money. Profit and protect that money. Go through our free weekly newsletter. You can do it in minutes or spend hours if you want. Get it from Harold. RareColoredDiamonds.com, 1-800-432-1022. Now, even more importantly, PIMCO and BlackRock don't expect Pelose, the head of the Bank of Canada, to hike interest rates again this year. The world's biggest fund managers are warning money market traders not so fast on the Bank of Canada. After two consecutive interest rate hikes, participants in the markets for overnight index swaps and bankers' acceptance contracts are betting policymakers are set to tighten for a third time this year. PIMCO and BlackRock disagree. Both say central bank governor Stephen Pelose is on hold until at least 2018 and anticipate a more gradual approach to monetary policy. Swaps traders are pricing in about a 2 in 3 chance of at least one more quarter point rate increase by the Bank of Canada in December. Well, those odds have come down in recent weeks, and words of caution from Pelose that there's no predetermined path for policy tightening, they still stand at about 10 percentage points above the market-implied probability ahead of the month's rate hike and when they meet. PIMCO's obviously top people, and BlackRock as well, say uncertainty surrounding NAFTA and anticipated slowdown in growth once fiscal stimulus starts to wane and muted inflation make it unlikely the central bank will raise rates again by the year end. Should they prove correct, the implications extend beyond the front end. Now, speculators have boosted wagers on the Canadian dollar strength, and this has really been happening here in the last little while to the most in 5 years, just months after amassing record short positions against the currency. Markets just went from one end of the spectrum to the other end of the spectrum, and now the bank is trying to recalibrate them to a more balanced outlook, according to the head of Canadian fixed income at BlackRock, Aubrey Bastio. The world's largest money manager, BlackRock has a lot of money, and they are one of the obviously smartest people in the room when it comes to investing. The Bank of Canada seemed in a hurry to try and remove the emergency cuts, and they didn't articulate that, he said, referencing the 50 basis points worth of reductions in the overnight lending rate in 2015. And Harold, we know that the Bank of Canada, more than likely done this year. We'll have to wait and see what happens next year. But in the United States, they have already come out, and Janet Yellen saying more than likely we could see 3 rate hikes. Although her job is up very, very soon, the Trump administration currently looking for someone to replace Janet Yellen. But here in Canada, it would be a surprise, Harold, I think, that the Bank of Canada would raise rates. And we have about 4 minutes left in our segment.
Well, nothing surprises me. Again, I just don't understand why they did it in the first place. But the fact is they did. And I don't think that they will raise rates again this year. I don't see where it's having any benefit on their market whatsoever, on our market whatsoever. Meanwhile, in the States, we should see another interest rate hike probably in December, and that should push the dollar even higher. So, again, at this particular point, the markets are just in limbo. There's nothing breaking out. There's nothing exciting at this particular point to watch, but we do watch the markets every minute that they're trading, and we are looking for opportunities, but until the opportunities come, we need a breakout. And again, it's unfortunate because there's big spreads in the market. You know, sometimes you have to wait for a huge move in order to confirm that market is now going to make that move. And as far as gold goes, it's actually happened from $1,050 to $1,380. That's a huge spread to wait for to get a confirmation that the market's going to move. We don't look for short-term trades. We're not trading futures or heavily leveraged anything. We're looking for opportunities to buy low and sell high, or the opposite, and I do believe that we are going to have that opportunity coming up in the first quarter of next year.
Speak with Harold Siegel personally, privately. Give him a call. Find out more about the private programs he has in place to start you making money today. You're maybe sitting in a GIC earning 1% or less. Speak with Harold. He has programs where you can start making money. Connect with him at rarecoloreddiamonds.com, rarecoloreddiamonds.com, 1-800-432-1022. Our featured diamond of the week is a .44 carat oval cut, fancy, vivid, purplish pink argyle. We'll talk more about diamonds in the second half of the show. Now, there are people coming out and saying that now is the time to be very cautious when it comes to investing in stocks. And I know Harold touched on the FANG stocks. They seem to be pretty much driving all the market at this point. We're talking about Facebook, Amazon, Netflix, Google, and that is a concern when you have only a few stocks driving all the market. Now, David Stockman, who used to be in the Reagan administration many years ago, said that tax reform by the Trump administration, and of course they're trying to do some reform here in Canada, and there are Canadians that are just outraged as a result. The overhaul is a pipe dream, according to Stockman in the United States, and he believes that stocks are headed for a 40 to 70% plunge. He warns about the Trump administration's tax overhaul, Federal Reserve policy, saying they could play into a very severe stock and market sell-off. He was the Reagan administration's director of the Office of Management and Budget, and isn't stepping away from his thesis that the 8.5-year-old rally in the United States is in serious danger. There is a correction every 7 to 8 years, and they tend to be anywhere from 40 to 70%, Stockman said on CNBC's Futures Now. If you have to work for a living, get out of the casino because it's a dangerous place. Stockman put a big portion of the blame on the Federal Reserve in the United States and its ultra-loose monetary policy. This is a bubble created by the Fed. If you'd like to see that story, connect with Harold, get our free weekly newsletter. RareColoredDiamonds.com is the website. Telephone number 1-800-432-1022. And we're going to come back and talk about diamonds as the World Financial Report on Radio with Harold Siegel and me, Randy Marshall, continues right after this. Welcome back to the World Financial Report on Radio with Harold Siegel. My name is Randy Marshall. Joining us via the telephone, our financial and diamond expert, Harold Siegel. We're taping our show on October the 6th, 2017. Our time is 9:06 Mountain. Radio show runs 6:30 CHED in Edmonton, Sunday afternoon at 3. If you ever miss a radio show, they're archived on Harold's website, streaming 24/7, rarecoloreddiamonds.com, and you can join the podcast there as well, or via iTunes. Type in The World Financial Report on Radio. Happy Canadian Thanksgiving, a long weekend, and hope you have a chance to spend time with your family and friends and enjoy a nice meal, maybe some pumpkin pie. Columbus Day for the Americans who listen to our radio show out of Canada. Columbus Day on Monday, and it will be a long weekend in the United States. Connect with Harold at rarecoloreddiamonds.com, rarecoloreddiamonds.com. The question we have been asking ourselves, how do you invest today so you can retire tomorrow? And if you're looking for the answers, that's why we do the radio program. That's why Harold Siegel has basically an open phone policy. He'll be happy to speak with you anytime. Give him a call. He has different ideas that can help you start making money immediately. 1-800-432-1022, 1-800-432-1022. RareColoredDiamonds.com is the website. Our featured diamond of the week is a .44 carat, oval cut, fancy, vivid, purplish pink argyle. See it online, RareColoredDiamonds.com, featured diamond of the week. And taking a look at my notes, the argyle pink diamond tender that started in July is about to come to an end. In fact, they're talking about it ending on October the 11th. That is when the tender results will be finalized, and everyone that bid on an argyle pink diamond through the argyle pink tender for 2017 will know exactly where they're at and if they got a diamond or not. But that is coming up very soon. It's October 11, 2017. It's made its way through New York, Hong Kong, and Perth, and obviously Australia as well. And Harold, obviously when we find out more about the tender, they don't give us exact numbers. Everything is kept private and confidential. But there are the odd dealer that comes out and says, I got this diamond, I got that diamond. So we will have more information here in the next week or so about the argyle pink diamond tender. And I know that you have been a part of that process.
You bet. It's an amazing process, actually. It's a closed bid process, and they take the diamonds, and there's about 55 of them. So they took them basically to 6 different cities around the world. They show them to very high-end dealers and jewelers, and we get to bid on these diamonds privately. So you get to view the diamonds, choose the one that you would like to bid on. It's a closed bid, and then they look at all the bids, obviously, and the highest bidder ends up getting that particular diamond. So it's a great process. It's the biggest event in the diamond industry, for the entire year. And this will be coming to an end because they're closing the Argyle mine by 2020, which is only really about 2 years from now. They will still, continue to operate for probably a couple of years after that till basically all the diamonds run out. But the fact is that the mine is closing because they're just not profitable anymore. The Argyle mine was the largest producing diamond mine in the world at one time. It was discovered back in 1986, and it's in Australia. It's in the western part of East Kimberley, and it's produced 30 million carats of diamonds a year. 30 million carats of diamonds that are mostly low-grade industrial white diamonds that are used to cut other diamonds. But out of this amazing mine comes 95% of the world's pink diamonds. That's a very small number. In fact, for the Argyle tender, if you take the entire 55 diamonds of the Argyle tender, it wouldn't even fill a champagne flute. That's how small the pink diamond market is. But the Argyle mine represents 95% of that market. And once that market closes, or once the mine closes, well, then at that point there won't be any more pink diamonds to speak of. And I believe that the price of pink diamonds will increase substantially, depending on size and color and certain things. But even at the Argyle tender, you're finding that the lesser quality diamonds, like what's important in an Argyle pink diamond is the color. That's the most important thing. In actual fact, many times they'll grade the diamond just based on the color, where the clarity is not the most important thing. However, at the Argyle tender for the last 4 or 5 years, we've discovered that even the very poor quality diamonds that come from Argyle, like the I1s and the I2s, where you could visibly see the flaws with your visible eye, even those diamonds are selling at record prices. So we believe that this is going to be a phenomenon. We believe that the closer we get to the mine closing, that the prices are going to increase substantially. Our clients have bought these diamonds. They put them away for their future. To hold on to them for the next 5 or 10 years would be a very smart move, because at that point, it'll give a chance for all the diamonds to run out. Then there will be a shortage of pink diamonds, and then we start to put these diamonds to auction, and we believe that the prices can increase substantially. So we're excited about the possibility of Argyle diamonds doing what we believe they're going to do. But again, it's almost like economics 101 in the sense that you've got a very important commodity like a pink diamond, and the demand for these diamonds are very high, obviously by the Argyle tender, but the supplies are low. So we believe just based on that the prices will increase substantially, and we're very, very excited about what's going to happen in the pink diamond market.
See that diamond, our featured diamond of the week, at rarecoloreddiamonds.com, 0.44 carat oval cut, fancy, vivid, purplish pink Argyle. During the week, Sotheby's Magnificent Jewels and Jadeite auction took place October the 3rd in Hong Kong, China. And we do have some auction results for you. And please remember, no two diamonds are exactly the same. And this is really a guide as to what diamonds are selling for at auction around the world. Your diamond obviously may not get the same results. It all depends on exactly the size, the color, and many other factors. Lot 1687, and this was an impressive fancy vivid yellow diamond and diamond ring set with a cut-cornered square modified brilliant cut fancy vivid yellow diamond weighing 21.22 carats. The estimate on it was $870,400. It sold for $1.1 million, $1,164,800. Now, the other big lot was lot 1698, an important fancy vivid yellow diamond ring set with an emerald cut fancy vivid yellow diamond weighing 20.03 carats. The estimate on it, $2,048,000. It sold for right around there, $2,086,400. Now, it's interesting, as usual, and we brought this up before, some of the smaller diamonds were the ones that did the best. And we take a look at a lot like lot 1607, a fancy deep yellow diamond and diamond ring, centering upon a pear-shaped fancy deep yellow diamond weighing 3.55 carats, flanked by two pear-shaped diamonds. Now, the estimate on it, $38,400. It went for $62,400. Lot 1641, a colored diamond and diamond ring, set with three modified cut-corner and rectangular cut fancy intense yellow, light pink, and fancy grayish-blue diamonds. The estimate on it, $38,400. And that actually went for $64,000 as well. We had lot 1667, a fancy yellow diamond and diamond ring set with a cut-cornered rectangular modified brilliant cut fancy yellow diamond weighing 11.30 carats. The estimate on it, $87,040. It went for $208,000 U.S. So that did, another smaller diamond did very, very well at auction. And this one, it was interesting because it was a faint pink diamond, lot 1643, a faint pink diamond and diamond ring, set with a pear-shaped faint pink diamond weighing 6.14 carats. The estimate on it was $121,600. It sold for $224,000. Lot 1642, a fancy blue diamond and diamond ring. The size, 1.52 carats. The estimate, $102,400. It sold for $335,360. And just a few more here. Lot 1674, a fancy intense blue diamond and diamond ring. And this diamond actually was estimated to go for $192,000. It sold for $488,960. The carat weight was 1.21. Lot 1673, a fancy vivid purplish pink diamond. Now that's similar to our featured diamond of the week. And the modified kite step cut fancy vivid purplish pink diamond weighed 2.08 carats. The estimate on it, $192,000. It sold for $504,320 US. And then finally, lot 1678, a fancy blue-green diamond and diamond ring, set with a modified cushion-shaped fancy blue-green diamond, weighing 3.05 carats. The estimate, $384,000. It went for $611,840. And maybe we can just slip in one more here. Lot 1685, fancy vivid purplish pink diamond ring, and the carat weight was 286. The price, the estimate, $768,000. It sold for $1.1 million, $1,118,720. So, Harold, for those that would like to see the results from Sotheby's magnificent jewels and jadeite auction, we'll be happy to send them out to you. But it really is a guide as to how well the diamond market is doing at auction around the world. And you can see, as we've said before, some of those lower-priced diamonds, they're high-quality diamonds, but lower-priced because of the size, they are doing exceptionally well at auction.
That is so amazing to hear, Randy. Those returns were phenomenal. And again, some of them are 2 to 3 times what the appraisers or what they estimated the diamond to be worth or what it's going to sell for. They sold for 2 or 3 times more. So that's exciting. That's the exciting thing about the auction market. And basically, we have 2 auctions. We have both under H. Siegel Fine Auctions. One's a live auction, and one is a more of a closed bid type of auction. And we're very, very excited. In fact, that's my major focus going into this new year, is to really hold a ton of auctions, help our clients sell some of their diamonds when they want to, get geared up for the next few years when Argyle is getting ready to close, and then we can start to sell off those diamonds. It's just a very exciting time, and to see those type of results are very, very encouraging. So that's going to be our major focus, is our auction business moving forward. We're going to have constant auctions, and hoping to be able to duplicate what this auction just did. Again, a lot of times we talk about the more expensive diamonds. We talk about, the main diamonds that are the big blues and pinks and greens that are selling, for multi-millions of dollars. But it's great to see a diamond that's supposed to sell for $100,000 and it sells for $300,000. It's extremely encouraging. If you would like to get a copy of those results, give me a call. I'll email them to you, and you can see for yourself. But again, it's the medium-priced and lower-priced diamonds that really seem to have done the best job. We're very enthused by this. It's very encouraging.
Speak with Harold if you would like to receive the free weekly newsletter that includes the auction results. RareColoredDiamonds.com, 1-800-432-1022. And it was interesting to note as well this week, a 900-year-old Chinese bowl sold for $38 million. And the purchase of the 900-year bowl was obviously a thing to behold, which was fashioned during the Song Dynasty. Set a new auction record for Chinese porcelain. Sotheby's said an anonymous buyer placed a winning bid of 294 million Hong Kong dollars, $38 million, clinching the piece after a 20-minute bidding war in Hong Kong. The bowl had been expected to go for at least 100 million Hong Kong dollars, $13 million, according to Sotheby's. The auction house touted the blue-green brushwater as a highly important and extremely rare piece of art. Brushwaters are shallow porcelain bowls that were used in ancient China to clean calligraphy and paint brushes. But once again, we've seen it with collectible cars, watches, handbags, art. There you go, Harold. We have some Chinese porcelain selling for $38 million. The diamond market is doing very well at auction. Collectibles, those that are into hard assets realize in the time that we're in Now is a time to have hard assets in your portfolio. Portable private wealth is so important in the times that we live in.
You better believe it. Again, realizing that the markets themselves, the commodity markets and most stock markets are going sideways. So nobody's making money on these investments at this point, but judging by what's happening at auction with alternative assets, hard assets, they're doing tremendously well. It's very encouraging to see because, again, most people that have a lot of money, especially in the markets at this point, are nervous. At any time, the Dow can plummet. We've got a president in Trump that is not overly popular and is making a lot of mistakes and really upsetting a lot of people. So the fact is that with him, anything can happen. One conversation, just one thing that he does can change the whole market, and you could see the Dow down 40, 50 points as we've seen many times in the past. So again, these are very, very difficult, very volatile times, and at any time you could see these markets change. In fact, I would never trade the stock markets without having stops in your position because, again, these markets can overnight plummet like they did in 2008, where the market dropped from 14,000 to 6,500 in just a very short period of time, and people got wiped out. So, again, judging by the auction results and what's happening in the alternative asset business, I'm very heavily recommending getting assets into those markets. They're longer-term investments, but in any investment, the first and foremost is capital preservation, not losing your money. Next is making money, capital appreciation. And I truly believe that hard assets give you that opportunity, even though it's a longer-term investment. They're not leveraged. They're not volatile, and they do better than most investments. Just look at what blue diamonds have done in the past 10 or 15 years. They've literally gone from $200,000 a carat for a vivid blue up to $4 to $5 million for an important vivid blue. The moves in that market have just been outstanding. We believe we're going to see the same thing in pink diamonds, and we believe we're going to see the same thing in green diamonds. We're going to see huge increases coming over the next 5 to 10 years.
Featured diamond of the week is a .44 carat oval cut, fancy, vivid, purplish pink argyle. You can see it online at rarecoloreddiamonds.com. Featured diamond of the week. And here very soon, the end date is October 11 for the argyle tender for 2017. We'll have an idea of how the tender did. And one of the things that we talk about on our show is obviously investing in gold, silver, diamonds, hard assets. And when it comes to investing in gold, I thought there was a great quote this week from Jim Rogers, who has been interviewed for a couple of weeks now, and we've had some of that info in our free weekly newsletter. Jim Rogers said, "History has proven time and time again that gold is one of the best ways to hedge your portfolio. That is, to protect it when stock markets everywhere fall. And unlike paper money, gold is a permanent source of value. Gold has withstood history and maintained its inherent value. It's durable, easy to transport, looks the same everywhere, and it's easy to weigh and grade. In short, gold is an insurance policy against financial calamity." And one of the things that October brings is one of the most volatile months for the stock market. It's been a calm year for U.S. equities overall, but if history is any indicator, that's about to change. October is the month with the highest share of daily moves of 1% or more in either direction for the S&P 500, according to 50 years of data compiled by Bloomberg. That would be a change from this year's steady markets. The S&P 500 has moved 1% or more in either direction on 4.3% of this year's trading days through September, a rate that, if it lasts through the end of the year, would make 2017 the least volatile stretch on record. But Harold, at some point, with what's happening around the world, not only with the storms that we're seeing and the terror attacks, but geopolitical with North Korea. North Korea has not gone away. In fact, one of the stories that I saw this week that I thought was quite horrifying, is Russia helped out North Korea with their internet, giving it a boost. As the U.S. cracks down on North Korea, Russia is giving the rogue state a cyber lifeline. Russia's state-owned company Telecom has provided a new internet connection. According to North Korea monitoring project 38 North, cybersecurity experts have also confirmed the new Russian link. The move strengthens North Korea's cybersecurity capabilities at a time of heightened tensions with the United States, and also reduces its reliance on China. Previously, North Korea and their internet traffic was funneled through one sole link provided by Chinese telecom firm Unicom, according to experts. Now it's got some backup from Russia. And you have to say, Harold, Putin, he always is sticking the knife in. He's always just jabbing and sticking the knife in any chance he gets. And he was meeting with Middle Eastern leaders, and he is definitely trying to position Russia as a world leader and try and take that power away from the United States. So that's a whole other dynamic geopolitically that is playing out. We have about 4 minutes left in our segment here.
You bet. Russia is definitely the country to watch at this point here, and I believe that Putin is just playing with Trump. I believe that he's so superior in his knowledge of running the country and what he's doing, and he's one of the richest men in the world by far. He's just playing games. They've got all the resources, and they can do what they need to do. And again, the fact that they seem to be backing, the bad guys in this is a problem. So the world is all crazy at this point here. Obviously, with the natural disasters that have happened over the last few months, not only in the United States but in the islands and in Mexico and all that type of thing, it's just a time to be very, very cautious. Now is not the time to speculate, to take unnecessary risks in a market, because in all reality, the markets are going sideways. There's not an opportunity unless you're a futures trader, and unless you're experienced, 90% of the people that trade in futures lose their money. 90% of people that trade stocks lose their money. So the odds against you making money or making money in the markets at this point when they're volatile like this are not very good, because nothing is breaking out. My suggestion is to be conservative at this point. Look at other alternative investments, because there are opportunities that could make you an awful lot of money that are not as risky as going into the commodity or the stock markets.
Speak with Harold personally and privately, 1-800-432-1022. How do you invest today so you can retire tomorrow? That's why we do this radio program. Give Harold a call. He speaks with listeners on a daily, weekly, monthly, yearly basis, thousands of people, and he would be happy to talk with you about making money. RareColoredDiamonds.com is the website. Telephone number 1-800-432-1022, 1-800-432-1022. It's very hard to retire in the financial world we find ourselves in today. Heck, you have professional investors, hedge fund managers, as we touched on the last program, that are shutting down their hedge funds because they cannot make money. And they're every day seeing the fact they're losing money, and it's driving them absolutely crazy. So what a lot of them are doing, shutting down. That is a pure indication of even some of the smartest investors are at a point where they're just perplexed by these financial markets and do not know what to do. And Harold Siegel has been through these markets, the ups and the downs. If you'd like to hear what he has to say, we encourage you to connect with him at RareColoredDiamonds.com, 1-800-432-1022. Harold has individual investment programs in place he'll be happy to speak to you about. Harold, happy Canadian Thanksgiving to you and your family.
My pleasure. Thank you very much. My favorite day of the year. I wish everybody a wonderful Thanksgiving weekend and a very profitable day.
And the reason we're mentioning Canadian Thanksgiving is we have people that listen to our program all around the world. But we say Happy Thanksgiving. I hope you get a chance to spend time with family and friends and have a nice meal and enjoy each other's company. And for those in the United States spending time together for Columbus Day, I hope you have a good time as well. That's it. Another edition of the World Financial Report on Radio with Harold Siegel and me, Randy Marshall. We will talk to you next week.